Hello, we are here talking about Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Tom Ryan Smith of GAMINGbible fame, you have played the game.
I have played 3 levels of Crash Bandicoot 4, and I am here to tell you all about what I have played.
Alright, so you're a big Crash Bandicoot fan. You played a lot of the games growing up. So what are the key new things that we need to look out for in Crash Bandicoot 4?
So the first obvious thing we all know about now is the masks. So we have the time mask and we have the kind of phasing mask. It's kind of strange, like objects kind of can be switched in and out of reality, which is, it's not as crazy as it sounds, but it's a cool mechanic. But there's actually 4 masks in the game, and the way they kind of work is, so the time mask, if you're going through a level and something's going really fast and it's like, I can't respond to that, I can't do anything with that, you can just tap the R1, or the R2, sorry, and time will slow down for a small amount of time and you can just hop along through. It's really cool.
Okay, so obviously we've got the time mask. You said there's 4 in the game. You've played with 2 of them, right? So the time mask and...
I don't know its name. I can never really get my head around it. Kind of the phasing, like dimensional mask.
Lanny Lolly or something?
Yes, they've got really weird names, and without looking at it, I don't even want to attempt to say them. I'll put them on screen somewhere. But yeah, they're interesting dynamic bringing them in, because unlike Aku, where you get him, where you spin a box and you get Aku, you get them at set points in a level. So like you'll only get them when you need them, and you can't avoid using them. They are given to you, and you wear them. And you have them for that set amount of time. So there's a section on Dino Dash, which is a level where you're being chased by a T-Rex, which is probably the more fun of the 2 levels. And you do one of the first new real mechanics in the game is grinding and hanging from vines. And I presume there'd be just rails in general, but in this level it was a vine. And there were obstacles in the way, like there's rocks which have mushrooms on top, and you can use a trigger and it'll phase them away. So you can like avoid them and make them appear. And there's boxes as well which can appear and disappear through phasing, so you can have to time it between making something disappear but reappear a box, and you're bouncing and you're phasing, you're dodging, you're jumping. And it's an extra layer of just concentration that you have to put into it, which wasn't there before. It's not a big layer. It doesn't make you feel completely overwhelmed. It's still Crash Bandicoot. It's still pretty basic while still being insanely difficult because it's bloody Crash. But yeah, it's a nice extra little something to think about.
Nice little chef kiss.
Yeah.
Alright, so you enjoyed Dino Dash as a level. What about the other level?
So Snow Way Out is the other one, which is... It's not to say there's anything wrong with it. I'm just bad at ice levels. Slipping and sliding, it's just not for me. Like, even in Halo, and I love Halo, but stick me on a level where I'm in the Warthog going across the ice, nah. It's not on.
So the mechanics are a little bit different in it, are they?
It's not, it's different. It's just ice. Ice in video games. You slide, and I don't like it. You're compensating your movement, and that's just a personal preference entirely.
So it's not very ice, really.
Shut up. Shut up.
I'm sorry. We can cut that out. We should cut that out. That was terrible. Okay, so other than the masks, does Crash and Crash and the other characters that you play, I should say, have they got any new abilities or anything?
So during the game you play as Crash or Coco, so you kind of have the choice whenever you kind of hop in and out. You can just go, oh, I want to play this one as Crash, I want to play this one as Coco. It's pretty simple, and it's just a nice thing for everyone who wants to play as different characters. But there are now things in levels called timeline events. So in front of you something will happen, or behind you something will happen that will affect the level. So in the case of Dino Dash, the T-Rex is chasing you and rocks fall down from behind and you're like, why did that happen? Or on Snow Way Out, you're heading forwards and there's a pirate ship kind of on the crest of an horizon where you see that's the path you're supposed to go. Then the pirate ship blows up and you're like, why did that happen? Turns out you find out because this whole thing's through dimensions and times and things, these timelines cross, and you actually get to play as the villain or the character who caused that situation to happen.
Okay.
Like when we spoke to the producer, he said character, which was interesting because we know Cortex is in the game and the level we played was Cortex, but he said character, which implies
not Cortex or Coco or anybody that we've seen already.
Yeah, exactly. So there may be some other characters which I wouldn't hazard a guess, but it'll be obvious to some who may be playable. We don't know yet. We don't know. Not confirmed. Just a phrasing. But it's interesting. So yeah, in what we played on the Snow Way Out alternate level, we played as Neo Cortex, and his powers are a little bit different to what Crash has. His abilities pretty much are a speedy long dash, and he also has the option to, well, he has a laser gun, and he shoots it, and it turns any baddies in front of you. Saying baddies, he is a baddie, but the generic baddies in the game.
It's all relative, man. It's all relative.
Yeah, they're just life's baddies.
Yeah.
Turns them into platforms and bouncy platforms, so you can use them you can use them to get over obstacles and things like that. So as much as he doesn't really have an attack as such, he has the ability to turn them into platforms. It makes his levels a bit more puzzle based.
There's a couple of different modes in this one, isn't there?
Yeah, so there's the classic and there's the modern modes. So the modern mode is more like up to date to how you'd expect games to be now. Like there's no game overs. So you die, you go back to a checkpoint, you die, you go back to a checkpoint, you don't lose lives, there are no lives. Although you do get a little ticking thing in the top corner telling you how many times you've died, which really crushes your soul. And makes you realise, I'm bloody glad I'm not playing this on Classic, where game overs do exist and you are collecting lives.
So it crushes your soul but not your vibe.
Yeah, exactly, like you don't feel as bad. Because checkpoints are still they're near enough together that you don't hate life.
Do you think that changes the whole point of a Crash Bandicoot game? Because especially with some of the harder levels, it was about that sort of, the impetus of getting through it without dying, and now suddenly you're given a bit of a blanket, like a safety net, which you never had before. Do you think that takes away from it in any way?
I would say so, yeah. There's definitely a layer of that dread that's gone. Like the dread you have now is just, I have to go back a little bit and do that bit again. But it's a good thing, but it's also, like you say, it's a bad thing because it takes away the actual pure stress of it. It takes away the danger. Like, it's not as much. You don't see, oh no, I've got 2 lives left, I have to do this. That's gone. That's completely gone in modern mode. In retro mode, if you do prefer that, you can have it back. It's an interesting change, but you can play it how you want to play it.
So the game was made by Toys for Bob, right? Who did the Spyro Trilogy remaster?
Yeah, those guys.
So, in your opinion, do you think that Activision are gearing up to start pumping out more original games in these series? Because you would have to think once this is out of the way, Spyro would be the next to get a new game, right?
I mean, I'm a big Crash fan, but Spyro is my boy, and I would very much hope so. The only weird thing about it is Toys for Bob are doing a very good job at this, I feel. Like, I kind of would have wanted them to do Spyro, have Vicarious do this, but they seem to be doing a good job at this, and I'm happy for that. But
yeah,
they bloody nailed Spyro, and I wanted them to do this, and I hope somehow they still are. Like, we don't know, but hopefully, like they're gonna do it. They're gonna do a Spyro 4. They must be. If they're doing this, they'll do like a rotational cycle. It's that COD thing. It's Activision. They love a cycle.
Well, you heard it here first. Tom has officially confirmed Spyro 4 is in the works.
I have not confirmed anything. I know nothing. I would just very much like to will it into existence.
Well, speaking of willing things into existence,
are you willing this to end?
Yes, I am willing this to end. No, why don't you hit us with the release date and platforms for Crash 4?
So Crash 4 It's About Time is coming out on October 2nd for PS4 and Xbox One. We have heard nothing about Switch. You poor souls.
Wonderful. All right, well, thank you very much, Tom. I look forward to hearing, I imagine you'll be reviewing it when it comes out, but I look forward to hearing what your final thoughts on Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time are.
Well, thanks for chatting to me about it, Mark. I've enjoyed a little chatty.
Wonderful. Goodbye.
Subscribe.